14. What are HTML and CSS used for? HTML and CSS are the beginning of everything you need to know to make your first web page. Learn both and start creating amazing websites. Or the basics of coding for the web. When it comes to building web pages, the coding language can, at first glance, appear incredibly complex. It may seem rather daunting having to take all this new information on board, but by breaking down each of the different elements involved, you'll find that you can make sense of all these essential pieces of the puzzle. If you're thinking of building a website, then you'll almost certainly have come across the acronyms HTML and CSS. These two essential tools form some of the foundations of any web page. However, although they're often used in conjunction with each other, they both serve very different purposes when it comes to web coding. The key differences lie in their implementation, ease of use, their various features, and how they are structured, but at the end of the day, both HTML and CSS are the keys to unlocking how the World Wide Web works. Let's dive into the details of both HTML and CSS, what they're used for, and how to learn HTML and CSS. What is HTML? Let's start by breaking down exactly what the acronym HTML stands for. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext is effectively a text within a text, and a markup language is a language understood by computers, designed to essentially describe web pages and make the text you use more interactive. It was originally invented back in 1989 as the publishing language of the web, and to put it very simply, it is the first building block in creating a web page. When you first come across the world of HTML, you'll likely encounter a whole ream of terms and phrases that are somewhat baffling too. The three main ones are elements, tags, and attributes. HTML5. Is the latest version of HTML, and knowledge in this area is a growing trend in the job market. By and large, it has the same functionality as standard HTML but is much more dynamic and uses much less code to build something fantastic. What is HTML used for? In essence, HTML is used for creating the primary content of a web page, giving it structure. You start by writing words, then apply tags or elements to these words. The web browser then reads this and can then understand the heading of a page, any paragraphs, and where the page starts and finishes, thus filling your web page with content. HTML is supported by every single browser and is established on pretty much every web page in existence. You don't need any licenses, you don't need to pay for it, and it can be pretty easy to learn and code. If we can compare a web page to the human body, then HTML is the bones of the body. 1. Introduction to HTML/CSS. If you are the content provider, read HTML. If you are the graphic designer, read CSS. If you are a programmer and want to add dynamic effects to your web page, read JavaScript. But if you operate an OMO, one-man operated, and are expected to create a reasonably good-looking website, you need to understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What is HTML? Hypertext Markup Language. 1. HTML is the language for publishing web pages on the WWW, World Wide Web, or World Wide Wait. 2. HTML is a document description language, aka document markup language. HTML is the standard markup language for documents designed to be displayed in a web browser. HTML is not a programming language like C/C++/C#/Java, which is used to implement programming algorithm. 3. An HTML document is a text document, and it is human-readable. 4. Today, HTML works together with CSS, cascading style sheets, for layout, and JavaScript, for programming. Talk about HTML versions. HTML versions. 1. HTML Draft, October 1991. Tim Berners-Lee of CERN proposed the early HTML, with 18 tags, for sharing of document in a hypertext system. 2. HTML 2.0, November 24, 1995. Published as IETF RFC 1866. 3. HTML 3.2, January 14, 1997. Published as W3C HTML 3.2 Recommendation. For HTML 4.0, December 1997. Published as W3C HTML 4.0 Recommendation, with strict, transitional and frame set. In December 24, 1999, HTML 4.01 was published as the final HTML specification by W3C. In May 2000, HTML 4.01 strict as published as ISO/IEC International Standard 15445:2000. 5. XHTML 1.0, January 2000. W3C considered HTML 4.01 as the final HTML, and moved on to develop XHTML 1.0 with stricter rules and syntaxes, followed by XHTML 2.0. XHTML 2.0, although theoretically elegant, is impractical as it is not backward compatible with HTML4/XHTML 1.0. A rebel group called WHTWG, Web Hypertext Application Technology Working Group, continued to work on extending HTML with more features in a backward compatible manner. In 2004, WHTWG released HTML5. By 2007, HTML5 has captured the attention of the developers. W3C decided to abandon the XHTML 2.0 and embraced the HTML5. 6. HTML5, October 28, 2014. HTML5 was published as W3C recommendation, followed by HTML 5.1 on November 1, 2016, and HTML 5.2 in December 14, 2017. 7. On May 28, 2019, the W3C announced that WHTWG would be the sole publisher of the HTML and DOM standards. Today, the prevailing specifications are HTML5 at https://html.spec.whatwg.org/multipage. Nonetheless, the most interesting thing about standards is that nobody really follows them strictly. Every browser, Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Safari and Internet Explorer, has its own variations and support the standards to various extents, so as to outdo others. Cascading Style Pages Sheets, CSS. What is CSS? It is a formatting language for web pages that is concerned with the form and design of websites. It was specifically designed to separate formatting, colors, fonts, buttons, from the content of the written document in HTML. This applies to the colors, fonts, images and backgrounds that are used on the pages, with flexibility and ease. Perfect. This technology is concerned with the overall appearance of website pages, including colors, images, etc. It can be added to the page in several ways, the best of which is external embedding by writing the CSS code in a separate file. It has been developed to currently reach CSS 3, to which several additions were added that were not available in the previous version, and it was accomplished only with jQuery. Launched by the World Wide Web Association's Web Council, it is a standard for characterizing the appearance of web documents by specifying fonts, colors, and formatting. CSS technology features. Talk about CSS technology features? 1. CSS technology aims to separate the content of pages from their appearance, so that it gives several benefits. 2. Make the page simpler and only useful for what it worked for, so that it includes the content, while the shape is in the CSS style file. 3. Making the page capable of being handled by several different browsers or display screens, and each device, computer or even mobile phone, or browser can be processed separately, thus providing greater usability. 4. It is possible to create several appearances, each appearance meeting the needs of each reader. For example, it is possible to ensure usability for people with special needs, or to create several colors to meet various tastes. 5. The style file can be included in several pages, and therefore when changing the presentation format, you only need to modify one file, which means less time and more comprehensive modification.